Before we go to that, I want to talk about this July 4th shooter. So, hours after a gunfire erupted in Highland Park, Illinois on July 4th during a parade, killing 7 people, wounding dozens more, police apprehended the man they believe was responsible. Robert Bobby Crimo III, 21, faces 7 charges of first degree murder in connection with the shooting, which authorities said he allegedly carried out by climbing onto the rooftop of a nearby business and opening fire minutes after the parade started, sending parade goers and participants running for safety. A judge on Wednesday ordered him held without bond in a virtual hearing where a Lake County assistant state's attorney alleged Cremo confessed to firing on the crowd in a voluntary statement to law enforcement. A preliminary hearing was scheduled for July 28th. Investigators believe the suspect planned the attack for weeks. And Chris Covelli, spokesperson for the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force, said at one of the several news conferences Tuesday, the suspect dressed in a woman's clothing to help conceal his identity. Now, Cavalli also said that he blended in with the crowds as they fled the area, and law enforcement has yet to establish a motive. And Cavalli declined to address a potential motive again on Wednesday, saying only that Cremo, the suspect, has had some type of affinity towards the number 4 and 7 in adverse was July the 4th, the date of July the 4th. Okay. Psycho. Cavalli previously said there has been no information to suggest the attack was racially motivated by religion or any other protected status. There is no indication anyone else was involved in this. This is just a nutcase. His family knew he was crazy. Law enforcement knew he was crazy, and no one did anything to stop this cray-cray. The suspect was taken into custody soon after police publicly identified him Monday as a person of interest, whom the FBI said was being sought for his alleged involvement in the shooting of multiple individuals. The suspect took his mother's vehicle, and a member of the community saw him. Gavalli said the individual called 911, and then North Chicago police conducted a traffic stop and took him into custody. Cremo also said Cremo faces a sentence of life in prison without parole if convicted, and the assistant state attorney, Ben Dillon, said in Wednesday's hearing, but the suspect faces many more charges in addition to the 7 first-degree murder charges. Now, Eric Reinhart, the state attorneys for Lake County, said in a news conference suggesting other potential charges, including attempted murder and aggravated battery with a firearm. Now, if the facts gathered end up supporting a federal prosecution, then we will walk with the U.S. Attorney's Office to pursue prosecution on the federal side as well, according to federal charges, according to the FBI Director Christopher Wray. The FBI Director Christopher Wray says that an event in London, he made those statements there. He also said the director also noticed the Bureau is helping local and state authorities with the crime scene and evidence collection. Now, this guy, I'm telling you, this guy had issues long before this incident. So this 21-year-old who got a firearm, he was 21, right? Producer, 21, I think. All right, good. Yeah, he was 21. This 21-year-old gets a firearm, and prior to this, there was an incident where the police had to be called to his house where all his weapons, knives, were confiscated from him. And no one at that point decided that, if we need to remove weapons from this idiot, this crazy person, then we might want to put this crazy person, this idiot, in the system and file some charges against him. They didn't think about that. And so, let's get past that. So let's move forward. All right. So then this idiot, this crazy person, this cray-cray, threatens the entire family. He threatens to kill everyone in his family. No one thought, little Johnny wants to kill all of us in our sleep. We may want to get this idiot, this crazy person arrested and get him in the system. No, no one did anything. Let's get past that point. Then his father, the sperm donor, decides that, hey, I'm going to sign for him to get a Ford card because this is the state of Illinois. And in Illinois, if you're a minor, your parents have to sign for you to get a firearms card in order to purchase a firearm or ammunition. So his father signs for him after he threatens the entire family. Remember what I said? To kill them. So he signs for this. Let's get past that point. Then Cray Cray decides to go to a 4th of July parade, turns 21. The state of Illinois, the restrictive state when it comes to guns, Chicago, where they have all those shootings. A lot of people die every holiday weekend. That weekend, like Memorial Day, 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all New Year's, all those holidays, a lot of people die where they have record amount of people dying, children, kids being shot with guns. That state, Illinois. They decide to renew Cray Cray, crazy person, the idiot, renew his Ford card. So then he goes and buys a gun. And guess what? He commits a shooting at doing a 4th of July parade. What a concept. And now you're telling me your people are crying out. They want to come after my guns. Illinois, they have red flag laws, the most restrictive laws that we have here in the country. They have the tools. They're like, hey, we have everything in place here in Illinois and Chicago. We want to make sure that guns do not wind up in the hands of illegals or crazy people. So we have very strict gun laws. We want all the other states to have the same type of gun laws. So guess what? Cray Cray gets a gun anyway in Illinois and commits this crime. And your response is, we want to come after everyone else's guns. There are laws on the books that you have right now in Illinois, and you're not enforcing those laws. You're not doing anything to enforce that. The parents should be held responsible. The father should be held liable civilly and criminally because he did nothing. The state of Illinois should be held liable criminally and civilly because they did nothing. And they are directly responsible for these people being shot and killed during the 4th of July on Independence Day. You did nothing. You did not do your job. And now you want to come after me. I live in my home. My guns have never killed anyone. I've had my guns. I'm 53 years old. I've had a handgun license since I was 21, and none of my guns have ever killed anyone by themselves. They never walked off the shelf, never stood up and say, you know what, we're going to shoot someone today. Never happened. But instead, you want to come after my firearms because you in Illinois, the state of Illinois, Chicago, one of the restrictive states in the United States, you can't, your law enforcement, your parents, the parents of these people who should be held responsible are not doing their job. I know everyone in my family who's crazy who shouldn't have a gun. And let me tell you, I make sure that crazy people in my family don't get a gun. I own a gun store. I can sell a lot of guns, but what I do is I make sure that the crays, the crazy people in my family don't get guns. I suggest you do the same thing. What a concept. I don't want my family members winding up with a gun and saying, well, Michael Cargill, who owns Central Texas Gunworks, his cousin got access to a firearm and killed 10 people. You're never going to hear that. You know why? Because I'm going to make sure the crays in my families don't get guns. I suggest you do the same thing in Illinois, do the same thing in California, do the same thing in New York, do the same thing everywhere else in this country. It needs to stop. We have laws on the books right now. How about you do your job and make sure these crazy people, you're the mother, the father, you raise these monsters. You should be held responsible for these monsters. Don't want them? Give them up. Do something. Take them out. Do us all a favor. Abort them.